Hello everyone. In this tutorial video, we are going to discuss Workday Studio. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms. Let's know about Workday Studio briefly. Workday Studio is a unified Eclipse-based environment that allows third parties and users to develop, deploy, debug and support their complex integrations running in the Workday cloud. The topics we will cover in this video are business process and error handler. To know more about the latest and trending technologies, watch other videos on the Upptalk channel. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel to know more about new technologies. This video will be covered by Mr. Shravan now. Let's not wait further and get started.
Yep. So what I was doing was I was creating a simple file, right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Last time we did it via right step.
Right step. Yes.
Yep. So let's do it this time in the, and this is a real scenario, right? Where you get okay. So say this is the stuff, right? So let me just save it on my downloads. Okay. So what I was saying was, let's do a use case of now reading a file, right?
Yes.
So for that, we have this get event documents as a component, right? And you use that.
Okay.
And finish. And after that, here, let me put a log before it. Okay, so I've just done this. Just included a get event documents. That's it. Yep.
Yes.
And I think after this, we have to do another step of copying the file. So get event documents, what it does is when you run your integration, right, you have a retrieval step first. Retrieval step will have SFTP and all that. From there, it will fetch the file. Now, whatever file you have fetched will come here directly.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And say if it is, if the requirement is that there can be multiple files, right?
Yes.
So in that case, we use a component called a route. Yep, we put it here. And in the route, we use the doc iterator stuff, right? So there is, every route has a strategy, and delete it, right? So doc iterator is something that we use, and it comes when you just drag and drop a route and just put your mouse on this, you get this third last stuff here, which is create document iterator. Okay. So what it does is, as the name says, document iterator. It iterates through different documents, right? And then what's the use case? Whenever you see this, this means that your integration can process multiple files.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Even though say you have one file or that's it, then also it is good to have this component there.
I think this is the advantage of Studio. One of the advantages of Studio that other integrations cannot do.
Yeah. Okay. And then this one, if you come to this part of here, let me open another one which will help us in this one, right? So variable name. So what happens is, get event documents will fetch the file. It will come to this component. here, and in this route, right, the output of this is a variable.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And if you click on this, what it says is the default variable name value is wd.retrieve.variable, right? So meaning if you don't give anything here, the variable name is wd.retrieve.variable. But if you give your own, then you can give your that, yeah, my input file is my variable name. Okay. So that means what happens is after get event documents, the first file which will come will get stored in this input file. And then it will go ahead, do the processing. Once the processing completes, it will come back again. It will see if there is another file. It will send the file to this route. It will do the processing again till the time all the files which are there are done.
Yes, sir.
And we can do it. Let me see this first. It is da dot document accessor and the file name.
Okay. Okay.
As file size, and we will see this after. Okay, so what I was saying was when the file comes, it gets to this document iterator, and document iterator stores it in this variable, right? Now that means after this route, what is there in the message? Nothing. It is still the start here part.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Why? Because the message, the
Yes.
content is in this variable. So then what we have to do is, say if you want to put it in a, if you want to store it, then what you can do is in the log, instead of the input to log as message, you can make it a variable and then use the same variable name as you have here. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then, yeah, after that we have put integration message. So this is how we read a file. Now let's do this part. Let me open that part of,
Okay.
let me log into the tenant and let me deploy it first. So if you see on the start here, one way people do is they do the retrieval service here.
Okay.
Delivery and retrieval here, right? Not recommended. We don't do retrieval and delivery here.
Okay. If we can configure SFTP here, we can directly retrieve from here itself.
No. The here you are just declaring the service.
Okay.
That's it. You are not configuring SFTP here. It is just the name of the service that it will get enabled, right? So
Okay.
this is our test demo. Why is it an error? Because this one has this part here. So delete this, Control S. And now I will deploy, but it has to save first. Next and finish. So it's deployed, and then what was our name? INT test. This one was this, right? And then now so if you see, it has the attributes and maps and all that stuff. Now we need to configure a business process, because we have to, if we directly run it, there will be no document, right? It will start running it. Yes. So what we have to do is we have to copy a business process. Just click on OK here. It will have A, and then B step will be fire integration. So what you need is, before firing of integration, you need to have a step B, and we'll make it as C. And this new step will be a service, and you will specify here document retrieval and click on OK. And then you will configure this part here. So it is saying configure it. So what will happen is, now when you will trigger the integration, the next step will be document retrieval. And after that, fire integration. So document retrieval, if you click on OK, this is the place where you do your SFTP configuration and all that stuff. Now, since we're doing our stuff, we don't have SFTP. What I will do is, I'll say manually attach the file. So I will give the group name as integration admin. And so that means when you will run this integration,
Only
whoever
administrator will be a,
will
yes.
get an option of attaching the file.
No other can get the option.
Right. So now the user which I'm using is an integration admin. So now when I will launch this integration, okay, these are the launch parameters, whatever. And I'll say, okay. Now it says attach.
Yes.
So then let me select the where is it, in downloads. I have selected my test file, which we just created. Okay, and then I'll say completed, and now integration will start running. So it completed already. Wow. Now let me see the retrieve log files. So here it is, the file. Yep.
Yes.
So what does that mean is that we have now, there was no hard coding. Earlier we had the write step, right?
Yes.
Now instead of write step, we had our get event documents, which is now fetching the file from an actual server. So this is an actual use case. Wherever you will see any integration in your tenant, which is inbound, will have this get event documents and will have a route component with doc iterator.
Okay. In this case, we have configured the business process that we have to attach the file manually. Otherwise, if we give the SFTP, it will directly fetch the file from there.
Right, it will directly fetch it from there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then what we do once, a normal set of things that we do, right? Validate expression is something that we do, which is da.size, right? Now, what is da? Let me come up here, right? So if you see this part of variable name, whenever you do this get event documents, the document is part of document accessor. That is what you call something in Workday, which stores the documents. Short form is DA here, document accessor. Like for when we were writing that code, right? For getting the getting the value from launch parameter, it was lp.get data. For getting it from the attribute, which was int sys.get attribute, right? Integration system. Similarly, for fetching it from the document which you have retrieved.
Yes, da dot. Yes.
This is da dot size. Da dot size gives you how many files are there. Okay. So this thing will give you how many files are there.
Yes.
right? So as part of our basic check, we see whether DA.size is greater than 0, right? It has to be greater than 0. Then only you will say, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of that part. And then also you can fetch the name of the file, which is again using this part. Props is equal to DA dot, just put this, all labels equals file name. Yeah. And you put index as 1. That means the first file, whatever you have got, is this. But apart from that, there is also da.get, which should give us the name of the file as a string label. This is file names index. Yeah, it'll be, yeah, I think it has to be 0. Let's try. So number of file, and this is name of file. Right, so I will copy this one. I will put here log message builder. I'll put this on here. Then I have an eval, this number of file stuff. Save and then deploy, and then let's run it and see. Launch. I will leave all of them as blank. Oh, these two are important. Okay. What? No, I need to give all. Attach, attach, and I will select the one. And let me add another one. I can add multiple files here, right?
Okay.
So let me do this. I will, do I have any test file? Oh, this was that. Was that one. Downloads. Right. So I've just made a copy of that and done that, so that we have 2 files now. Okay, so it completed successfully. Let's retrieve the log files and see how it is. But before that, let's see what we put it in the log. We have the name of file, number of file. We have, so da.size is number of file, and da file name. We are getting only the first file name. So let's see that. Okay. So we have got the message. So number of files you see 2, and then this is the first file name. Okay.
So in the DA dot file, we are giving the number. The number represents the number of files we are trying to fetch.
Yeah.
If I want to fetch second number, I have to do there. Two over there. If I want to get first file, then I want to do the first copy number. Right.
Yeah. And then you also have the sort by here. Sort by meaning, how do you want to run it? So do you want to do the ascending order of the file name? Say if there is a file with the name A and then there is second file with name B. So if you do file name by ascending, then you will first process A and then B. And if you do descending, you'll process B first and then. So you have this option here.
Okay.
Labels is for what? Workday stores integration message content. As for example, in tenant, you may wish to label all payment files that are available. This is just for tagging of that document. So whatever you are retrieving, if you want to tag them as, say, by giving any label, that this is a payment file, this is and that file, that but not used. Okay, so this is clear, right? Now get event documents and then the doc iterator. Doc iterator output will be a variable. If you don't give anything, it will be wd.variable, wd.retrieve.variable.
Yes.
So that means after this, the data is in the variable. So that's why you have to either use a copy step. So if you want to put that message in the message, right? So this is again the same concept that we have done. You do a copy, put the copy here, and then the input of the copy will be variable and the output will be message. So what will be the variable? Variable is this name. So that's the input to this copy. So copy is now doing whatever is in this variable, put that all in the message. So that means now in our log, we had the input as variable. Now if you make it message, again, it will show the content of the file. So we have done this eval, then let's do this concept of error handling. That is important. So so we have done error handling as part of this, right? Global error handler, you just drag and drop that.
Yes.
Other thing we do error handling is in the async mediation. Whatever async mediation you have in your assembly, those should by default have a send error component. So if you see here, create send error. Yeah, just put your mouse on this, you have send error. So if you click on that, it adds this component, right? Attach it to this.
Yes.
Now what it does is that whenever there is an error in this async mediation, what happens normally? The message starts flowing backward, right?
Yes.
I told you,
yes,
right? It starts going backward. In order to handle that error, right? It starts going backward till the end, and if nothing is there, it comes to global error handler. That's how it is. But if you want to capture it, because you know what the error is, right? What we do is we specifically put that message. So in this case, what we do is we use put integration message, right?
Yes.
Here and finish. And then let me do a swim lane just to align it. Okay, I will now put this part into this. Make it vertical and put this put integration message here. So now if you see this put integration message, which we have in the end, it is showing us that, yep, it is completed successfully. It's an information, meaning when the flow will come till this put integration message, user will get to know that integration completed. Right now in this part, if there is a send error, right? Now send error will send the error message to one component. In that case, what we are doing is we are sending the message to a put integration message here. Now here we know that whenever the flow will come from send error, that means it's not an info, it's always an error or a warning, depending on your use case, right? And then summary is the message, whatever message you want to say, like say error in async mediation, right? So this is a custom message which you are displaying. But if you want to display Workday delivered message as well, right? So what you do is you do a plus mark here, which is concatenation, and there is this context dot error message, right? So now what I'll do is let me save it, and I will put an error here. So I am putting a wrong syntax in the sense int sys get attribute get integration map lookup. Okay. Now I'm saying this integration map lookup, and I'm just keeping it map name. Map name I have to specify, right? If you remember last time, whatever map name is there, you have to give it. Right now, I'm just keeping it as is. That means this map name doesn't exist.
Okay.
So it will give an error. So now let's see what will happen is when error is here in this async mediation, if the error happens here, message starts flowing backward, right? But here you have send error. It's just like that mouse trap you have, right, at homes.
Yes.
If the mouse comes in, that's it, it is caught. So same thing here. This is a kind of a trap you have for the error. So in any case, if error happens or come in any component, we have this, it will catch that error and it will not allow it to go backward. It will catch that, send the flow to this put integration message, and in put integration message you have error. You will write your custom message, and you will also have your Workday delivered, which is context.error. Okay, so let me do a save here, and then let's deploy it and see. Okay, so it's deployed, and let me integration launch. I have to every time select this. Next time we'll change it. Okay, attach document. Attach test file. Complete. Okay. So, again, it completed. Not see, it completed with errors this time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if you see the message says error in async mediation. Yeah. This was our custom message. And after that, you have this message index 1, size 1, some bullshit which Workday has provided. Yeah.
Yes.
Now you got to know that error is in this async mediation, right? So now you can see, but if you want to know the exact detail, in that case, what you have to do is you have to download the consolidated report. Yep. In that you search for error underscore raised. This is the consolidated report. Show in folder. Where is that? Okay, this is there. Control F, error underscore raised, right? So this is there. So now it says error eval step ID this. Here is the syntax. Props name of file failed to evaluate, unable to resolve property this. Okay, that means it is going one up. Yeah, this one.
Yes.
So then you get to know and then you resolve it. That's how it works. Okay, now comes the part where I want a basic error handling, which you will see in every integration, right? So if you see here, this is the DA.size. You want your, so after your, this process, you will have so many other components, right? You want to load data into Workday and all that. You will have some web service and all those stuff.
Yes.
But you will do only that, only then when you get a file, right? If say there is no file, then what should happen? Right? You want to catch that error that, okay, if there is no file on SFTP, what should we do? Right? So in that case, what we normally do is there is a component called validate expression. Okay. So what validate expression does is, in validate expression, again, you click on plus and here you write some if conditions or a conditional statement. Right? Like the most common one is this one. ML, this one. DA.size, you know what is DA.size, right?
Yeah,
DA.size gives you the number of files. So it says that if DA.size is greater than 0, then go to the next component. But
okay.
if not, then send an error. Then go to send error.
Okay.
Right? So whatever you will write in validate expression, it will validate that particular expression. If it is true, then only it will go to the next component, or it will go to the next expression. So say you can have multiple expressions here, right? So it will execute each one by one, right? First this one, then second, then third. If any one of them is getting an error, it will go to send error. But if all are true, then it will go to the next component. Okay. So here what we do is we do DA.size greater than 0. Now here comes the failure message. So whatever you will write here, right, it becomes,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So no file on SFTP.
Okay.
Right? Now, whatever you write here becomes the context.error message. Right? Meaning whatever you are writing here, the failure message, this means you're overriding Workday's context.error message. Okay.
If you want, we can place here also.
You can leave it blank as well.
No. If I want Workday error message also, then can we concatenate using place as we did in the previous step? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay, and here we have it, the error in async mediation context.error message, right? We cannot do this part here because since we are attaching the file manually, we have to attach a file, else we cannot run it. So we can do a reverse of it, that it has to be less than 1. So meaning it will always fail. If you attach a file, the DA.size will be 1 and this condition will fail, right?
Okay.
I'm just showing you so that we can see the error. Right? But before that, what I will do is I will remove these launch parameters, which are waste. Okay, so save. And then let me deploy it. Okay, it completed with error. And error in async mediation, failed to find parameter data named from date. Ah, it gave another error. What error it gave is in eval, we have no launch parameter, but we are using lp.getDate, right? So that error message got caught here. So it's saying failed to find parameter data named from date. Okay. So this is the from date. So now if you will remove this one, it will give error on this to date. If you remove this one, it will give error on run for file. So we have to delete all of them except this. Yeah, tell me. You are on this. Yeah. You are saying this true and false?
Yes. If we give the condition like DA dot size greater than 0, and if we
make it false. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you can. You can. That's what I want you to try different stuff. And deployed. Let's run. So it completed with error. Now it says, right? Error in async mediation, and the context.error message became what we gave in that no file on SFP.
Yes.
Right. So that's how you catch errors.
Yes.
Okay. One important property also that you always have to remember and do it is in the properties of async mediation, in the advanced tab, you have handle downstream errors. You have to always check that as true. By default, it is false, but you have to make it true always. What does that mean is if say there is an error after the async mediation, right? Suppose there is an error here, right? Okay. What will happen is the error will start moving backward, right? Yes. But here in this property, we have handle downstream error as true, meaning it says keep your trap on if there is any rat coming from outside also, not only inside your house, but also from outside your house. If anything is crossing, catch that. So that's what we always make sure that we do handle downstream error as true. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So what we have done today is we have done the how to read, fetch the file, multiple files, name of the files, number of the files, and then what is validate expression, what does it do, and then also the send error component on an async mediation, right? So whenever you have some components inside async mediation which are doing some processing, always send error should be there, and it should be having a put integration message or say something else that we will see later on. It can have another async here. Main thing is what it is telling is whenever you have got the error, now your send error has got the error. What you need to do is up to you. Either you kill it or you give it another chance, right? So here we are killing it. Okay, so that's the basic of this one. It's a delivered component which is built on top of local out, so you don't have to have a local in for this. It's a separate thing. It's a separate component altogether. Put integration message.
Yes.
Yep, this one.
Yes.
Okay, and then let me see what other component is there. Copy, validate expression, validate it's fine. Unzip, store.
Can we write JavaScript in this? There is a
Yep.
component called JavaScript. Something.
Yeah, you can. You have this custom stuff here. Put custom here, and here you have to write the Spring Bean, right? So create Spring, and you can write that coding here.
No, I have seen a component like JavaScript component directly. Okay. Okay, let's just get a
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Yes. That's what.
Process a message using JavaScript. Yeah, you can write JavaScript for the incoming. What you need to make sure is, say when you drag it here, what will be the input to this? The message, right? Whatever is coming will be the input to this one. So once you know what is it, you can write a code to handle that. That's it.
Yeah.